Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Wayne Johnson, and I'm the state auditor. Now, this is the point when I walk into any state agency or local government where everybody clears the room. Yeah, that's a joke. You can laugh at that. Unfortunately, it's a little bit true. How many of you, I have to ask this question, how many of you have an idea what the state auditor does? Governor, I know you do. You don't get to play. I was appointed by Governor Martinez. Thank you very much, Governor. I don't think I ever publicly thanked you for this opportunity back in December. And what the state auditor does is fairly simple, really. I'm kind of the referee for all state and local agencies. In other words, when they get outside their financial or compliance lanes, then I push them back in again. Well, okay, I don't really push them back in. I throw a flag and I let the legislature, I let the governor, I let the governing bodies, and most importantly, I let the public know where they're going wrong. So those policy documents can be anything. It can be your budget. Certainly we analyze every budget and review every budget, over 1,500 different agencies and ASECI associations and the 600 or so state agencies every year. We take a look at that. But we also have a special investigations division where we look to identify and stop, hopefully stop, waste, fraud, and abuse. Now that sounds like something that's a campaign slogan. We've heard a lot about it. But what does that mean in practice? Well, since I've become auditor, I found a few things that were interesting in state government. And it's something that's concerning to me. There are a lot of joint powers agreements type agencies. They're created by government, either the legislature or local governments. And those agencies spend your tax dollars. Those agencies are created by the government itself. So the interesting thing about it is they've never really been audited to a government standard. They've never had their compliance issues looked at. So when you look at something like the North Central New Mexico Economic Development District, which runs the NMAAAs that provide food through the state and aging and long-term services to seniors right here in this county, and in fact, 31 other counties around the state except for Bernalillo County, and you find that $118,000 has been misspent in that audit, then you're a little concerned. When you find that they've been spending $8,000 at Hotel Andaluz, a very nice hotel, by the way, but that's money that isn't going to a senior. That's literally $1 or $2 or $3 that doesn't go into a meal that goes in front of that senior. It stops transportation. Now remember, this was going on in 2017, when the state was having to cut back their services, 5.5% across the board cuts in state government. And they were partying at Hotel Andaluz. They were partying at Main Event. And it was interesting today, I looked in the paper, and Representative Trujillo, who's chairman of the board of the North Central New Mexico Economic Development District, said, and this struck me very strangely or strongly, said, "We believe it's our money." I will tell you right now, it's not his money, it's not their money, it's your money. And it's money that the legislature said should go to seniors. And when you're talking about fighting waste, fraud, and abuse, it means looking into places that no one has looked before, not my predecessors. And some of that may not be their fault, but nobody has really dug to see where some of these entities are. And this isn't the first time the North Central New Mexico Economic Development District came up on my radar, because coming into office I found out that they were 17 months into an audit with ReadyNet, where we found 12 miles of missing cable, fiber optic cable, and almost $1 million in expenses that were unaccounted for. We did the work of finding that 12 miles of cable at the OSA. We did that work. We found most of the money that was spent on that. But I'll tell you right now, that organization, I would not allow to balance my checkbook. Their financial practices are terrible. And my job as auditor is to make sure that you know whether or not that agency is operating in the way that it should be operating, that it's following the law and following the policies and guidelines set by the legislature. It's not really sexy work, but boy is it important work. It's absolutely important. Now, people say, you came from Bernalillo County, you're a county commissioner, don't hate me for that. I went to UNM, don't hate me for that either. I'm very proud Lobo. But why would you want to do a job like this? Well, I got into government because I got mad at the city of Albuquerque. I didn't like the way they were doing things. I won't go into the nuts and bolts of that dispute with my city, but in essence, I felt like I was treated unfairly and that they weren't following their policies, and that a neighbor had more pull with the city of Albuquerque than I did. So what I am most passionate about are two things: making sure that people follow the rules and transparency. And that is a perfect fit for the auditor of the state of New Mexico. I am the chief transparency officer in this state. And I don't care where you're trying to hide something, I'm going to go find it, and I'm going to let you know about it. I'm Wayne Johnson, running for state auditor. I would appreciate your support in November. Thank you.